This is Jerry Mason, the Kickin Lawyer, and I'm inviting everyone to join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on the Kickin Lawyer fan page on Facebook for Law Talk Live, where we discuss business, politics, current events, and the law. If you miss the live version, you can watch the playback on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast platform. All right, it's Jerry Mason, the Kickin Lawyer, and we're here for another Law Talk. This one is not live, which is a little different for me. I honestly prefer them live, I think. I want to remind you, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, follow our content. We're on all social media platforms and across podcast platforms. You can watch playbacks of this on YouTube. Most platforms, just Google Kickin Lawyer and it pops up. Obviously, we're on TikTok now. We got quite a few followers there. They just love all the dances. That's what it is. And then the Covington Comic-Con is coming up August 20th and 21st, returning here to Covington to the Civic Center. If you'd like to be a vendor, sponsor, or participate, just check out the website, covingtoncomiccon.com. Michelle Allen is our longtime sponsor, and we are very appreciative of that. And she's your go-to if you're looking for any real estate, buy, sell, rent. She is the local Cry-Like realtor. We also appreciate Mason's High Octane Martial Arts. If you're wanting to become a Kickin Lawyer yourself, just check out Mason's High Octane Martial Arts at masonsmartialarts.com. And the Cellar restaurant that's right here in Covington, Tennessee. It's a Prohibition-themed 1920s style restaurant. We wear lots of fedoras. And that is right off the square here in town. And, of course, if you need any digital marketing services, you've got Masonite Digital Marketing with Josh. So joining me today, this is a podcast that's going to be in our Covington Music Series on the people that are coming and performing. And we really appreciate all of you that are coming not only to watch but to perform in our area here. And I just found out before we started that Mr. Jason Foree is actually a local. So is that right, Foree?
Foree, yes,
Foree, okay.
Jason Foree. I was raised in Burleson, Tennessee, from about 6 months old all the way up.
Okay.
So been in Memphis about 20 years now because that's where my work is.
Okay. And is this what you do full time, or?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. So you full time, and I noticed on your card it says you do sound or audio engineering too.
I do a little audio engineering. I have a little home studio that I do my own stuff and people that I know, personal friends and whatnot. I'm also the AV director at my church.
Okay.
And
which church is that?
Grace Community Church, Bartlett Road, 2018 Bartlett Road.
My son, Austin, he just graduated from Bethel, and they had the Renaissance program there. And we just recorded an album for him. He's big into music and stuff. And so I'm very interested in the music industry because we went to Nashville to record the album. And what we did is we rented it's really a private studio, but it's pretty big. It's pretty good sized studio they had. And it was very interesting to me because I'm very interested in the business side of it. I can't sing or anything. Like, I barely tap dance. It's like no skill. But so, like, what I'm getting at is we had an audio engineer we hired to come in and do the mixing of everything, and that was very impressive. Were you trained to do that, or did you learn to do it as you've been doing this?
Well, I'm more self-taught and experienced in trial and error. I use Studio One as the program I use.
Okay.
Most people are. I can't even remember the name of the big one now. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're okay.
Turn that off.
I don't even know which program.
Wanting to know about my extended warranty on my car.
Well, I get they either want that or money from me usually if my phone rings. All right. Well, as far as music, what kind of music would you say it is you perform?
I'm more of a blues rock kind of guy. I play down at BB King's. For the next 3 months, 3 days a week, except for weeks that I already had something prior booked. Mm-hmm. So I'm there on Mondays from noon to 4, Tuesdays from 4:30 to 7, and then some Fridays for the next 3 months.
Sweet. We'll have to come check you out. I enjoy going to BB King's.
Yeah, I've been there playing with different bands there for about 7 years. So
I might have seen you play. My wife and I, we haven't in a while, but pre-COVID, we're pretty regular going down there because I love to listen to blues.
Well, I played with Flicks Picks for about 6 years, 5-6 years. That's Leroy Hodges' band, and Leroy Hodges is the bass player that played on all the Al Green hits that you know and love.
Yeah.
And so that's his band, and I played guitar in that for a while.
So instruments-wise, is that you're a guitarist?
Yes, sir.
Primarily? And then you vocals?
I dabble with other stuff too, but guitar is my main thing as far as performing.
So in school, you said you were from here, and then you said 20 years to Memphis. So I'm assuming you were here in high school for some of the time.
Yeah, I was here until well, I didn't graduate.
Okay.
I left school in the 11th grade.
What? So
Got
what
my
year would
GED.
you have been?
91, 92.
Okay, so you were a little before me. I was 97. I went to Covington High also. Yeah.
You may know my little brother,
What's his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Foree.
That name is familiar.
Yeah,
How old is he?
He's 5 years younger than me.
Okay, so that'd be
he's-
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may
Well,
went to school with my brother.
well, what I was getting at, and of course, when you're young, you never know, man. You know, when you're in school. But did you have a desire and interest in music then?
Always. I started out when I was 8 years old. I took 2 years of piano. Mm-hmm. Nice lady at the church.
That's who taught me, Miss Chapman.
Over at the Methodist church.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, I took 2 years with her.
That was my piano teacher.
And here's the funny thing: I'm gifted with the ear, and so what she would do is she would play a piece of music for me, da 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 da, and I'd watch her play it and hear it, and then I'd play it back for her, and she thought I was reading it. Mm-hmm. Well, somewhere along the line, she got wise to that. She's like, no, we're not, and it wasn't fun for me after that.
Yeah.
So, I was into motorcycles and other stuff goodness gracious, this phone. I'm going to just turn it off. I was into all kinds of other stuff at 8 years old. So at 14, I realized that, hey, I can learn to play anything I want by ear. Mm-hmm. And so I started learning things that I liked. That wasn't classical.
I had the exact same experience with her, and I don't want to blame her for
No.
not doing music.
I wish that I would have stuck
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. So, but I don't have the ear like you. My son Austin does. He can do the same thing you do. He can listen to it and he can go back and play it. And he took piano also. He plays guitar. He plays a few instruments. Anyway, he said when he got to Bethel, the problem was most of his life he hadn't read music. He had just played it, and then it became an issue because they were doing it was basically professional type
Sight
stuff.
reading, yeah.
Yeah, and so he really struggled with that. But that's funny that you had Miss Chapman. Miss Chapman, I think, taught everybody around here.
Yeah.
Not to sidebar us, but I went to maybe a year ago. Went to that church for something. I forget what we were. We may have been visiting the church. I think we were. And there was this very old lady sitting right behind us, and she's basically blind. And I thought she looked familiar, and I heard somebody call her name, and that's who it was. It was Miss
Really?
Chapman. She's still alive. She's 90-something.
Goodness.
And I turned around and said something to her, and she said she remembered me. Said she remembered everybody that ever took from her.
I bet she does.
Yeah, it was. But she's touched a lot of people on the music. But you're right. She was very classical because I remember I learned Beethoven's Ode to Joy was like the first one I learned, and that one I wanted to do Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you're young, you're 8 years old, you want to rock out, man.
Yeah.
So that was. Yeah, I think I remember there was a sonata or something she taught me, and I loved that one because it had some bounce to it. You know?
Yeah.
But the other stuff, I just wasn't as interested in it.
Do you still play piano?
I dabble with it a little bit, but not really. I can play enough to. I played. We were talking about Christian music. The only song that I've released right now that's for sale. You can download it. Is on my website, and it's called Your Grace and Your Love. That was the first song that I recorded after I got my equipment, which, recording is becoming more affordable to.
Yes.
So now I've got some
So
experience.
where do they go to get that? What's the website?
JasonForee.com.
And it's Foree with two E's.
Yes, Foree. F as in Frank.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. So when I went, it was about a month ago now, I went to Nashville with my son, and what happened is my partner, Brian, some law partners here, Brian Huffman, which you'd enjoy him. He's big into music, big music buff.
That name sounds familiar.
Well,
Is he
actually, he's
my age?
40. Yeah, he's 47. So you might have known him.
I might know
Super
him.
genius, smart in school. Brian Huffman played ball.
I think I know that
Went to
name.
the Air Force Academy, and then he become a JAG officer. You'd think he's a hippie now the way he acts, but in any event, he was in Arkansas for a while doing practicing law, and he and another buddy started like a music production company.
Okay.
Not because they loved music, but they were kind of like they wanted to help push new up and coming artists and give them a
So
platform.
they were a publisher?
Sort of. It was really more like a record label, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but then they didn't have a marketing guy. They didn't have anybody that knew how to go market, promote, and everything. So it kind of fizzled out, and he moved here. Well, my biggest strength is marketing, branding, and promotions. I've run
Well, we
fight
need to
companies.
talk
I've
outside
run,
of this interview,
Yeah. Well,
okay?
we
We
do
do.
because I'm working on the business plan now of a big pivot specifically to help, because I can promote. I feel very confident that I can promote and motivate people to action, get people to come and watch us and see us on all kinds of stuff. And I feel like with music we do it. But I'm sort of sidetracking. What I was going to tell you was when I was at that record studio, and you might even know her, the studio we were at was a Christian studio. And the lady who was running it, her husband had built it. He's huge in TBN. The Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Okay.
She had a studio that they owned, a TV studio where they did stuff, and then they had this recording studio. And her husband had even won a Grammy for audio engineering, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had unfortunately passed away tragically at late 40s, early 50s, something like that. Very young guy. Anyway, so she was trying to figure out what to do with it. And we were talking about if there was some way to work together on it because it's a very nice studio. It's got like an upstairs with a bedroom and a kitchen and the whole deal. It's big. Anyway. But what she was telling me is, because I was thinking initially, and this is somebody that's uninitiated in the world, right? Mm-hmm. She was like, I wanted to build a studio here. I was going to build a nice studio. And she's like, the money's not in the studio. She said, everybody goes, they record in their car. She said, what they need is somebody that knows how to promote, market, and, get them some exposure.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you've got the social media world and all that, older guys like me.
You're not that old now.
Well, I didn't grow up in the computer. What's the word I'm looking for? The
digital age.
Well, it was there, but I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So I'm just
what
now.
You're seeing.
I'm catching up to what some people were doing that were my age, that are my age. They were doing it like at young. So I started. I didn't own my own computer until 2009. So I've had to learn by, just by necessity.
Yeah.
To try to keep up. So now I'm getting pretty sharp at it, and I've got some really. I'm blessed to know some people who are really, really computer smart. And so when I run into the thing, like I can learn the program and do the things that I want to do in it. But if I have a computer issue, I got my go-to guys, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My IT guys.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I actually wrote some books on SEO and SMO and websites and stuff, and I can do that. And Josh does more, he does the same stuff, but he also does better digital than me, or not digital, video. He's really good at any of the video
nice
stuff. Yeah, he and you should see some of the ads and stuff he does. He does an awesome job at that. And he can do a lot of the other same stuff that I do. We were similar on website design, branding, social media posts, things. Here's the problem, though. I don't have the time to do a lot of it, personally. So he's full-time with me, and that's what he does, is he handles a lot of it. And then now he's doing some of his own with other companies. So, yeah, you got it.
There's the conundrum
that's the problem
for me, okay? Like, if I spent as much time as necessary to create the digital buzz that you need to reach say a national or large regional base, I'd have no time to play guitar.
Yeah.
I'd have no time to go play the gigs.
Well, and the thing is, it's not a bad thing. What I've found is the same thing in law. I've found that you have some people that are awesome practitioners, like potentially the best lawyer there could ever be, right? But nobody knows. Because they're so good at being a lawyer, they don't have time to boast and brag and do the marketing and the other side of it. So sometimes people need a hype man. And I found a lot of artists in music especially are very good at the art. They just want to do the art. They don't even care about the other side. They just wish they could make enough to just do what they love. I get it. So it's not a negative thing. Like, I'm very impressed with your ability. You have skills I don't. You can play by ear and play all this music and stuff. I'm very impressed by that, and I value it. And that's the problem that I see around here. There's a lot of even local musicians, even outside of Memphis, in these rural areas. They're very talented, but they get no exposure.
Well, I'm getting plenty of exposure. I'm out playing at BB's.
I know you said you're booked up, and that's great.
But I've got to get the original product done, and that's what I'm working on now.
Yeah. So you do write and do original
I do
stuff?
Right. I've got some original stuff that we're...
And besides the Christian song, are there blues songs you're doing? Or?
Yeah. Primarily, I am a Christian who happens to be a blues artist.
Sure.
I'm a blues rock artist. But I dabble in some of the other genres, too. I'm pretty versatile. But like I said, put the kingdom first. Well, the first thing I put out was my testimony song.
Sure.
So that's out there, and it's available for anybody who'd like to hear it or download it or whatever. And you can listen to it in its entirety on the website and not buy it or anything.
Yeah, but they should buy it though, because here's the thing.
Well, hopefully they're blessed enough that they want to.
Yeah, but see, this is where this is only it's not criticism, but this is a frustration of mine that very talented people like yourself hesitate or feel uncomfortable saying, "Hey, buy my stuff."
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
It's just that song.
Yeah, well,
it's just that song.
But they should pay.
I mean, when they come to the show,
yeah.
There's a briefcase
There's
full of
stuff to buy.
here.
Okay.
There's stuff.
Okay, good.
There's stuff.
How did you get hooked up to come here? Did you come last year when they did it? The music.
No, a few years back, and you guys obviously I didn't see you guys, but a few years back
We weren't there. We weren't there last year. This is the first time I was
sat
sponsored
in a few years back.
Okay.
But obviously, oddly enough, I haven't played out here very much.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2001, when I really got started as a professional player, or was getting into that direction, I used to play the end zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know where that is.
Where else would you play here?
Well, that's the thing. You see,
but I played all the places here then.
We're trying to change that. We're trying to make it where there's multiple places you can play.
Well, I would love that because I'd love to come to my hometown and play. And sometimes I have, people I went to school with, they say, man, when are you going to play out here? I'm like, well, when are you going to pay me?
Yeah. Well, the Cellar we're literally building out a stage now to do that. And we're even talking about doing, I don't want to know, this is going in July. I guess I could say who it is. We've got a big name out of Nashville that's going to come in and do, and they weren't quite as expensive as I thought they would be. Going to do a big show at the Ruffin and then a smaller private show at the Cellar. So we're trying to make, it's like I told you before we got on here.
It sounds like you're bringing in some regional acts.
Yeah, well, we want Memphis people too, though. We want the Memphis people to come here, and the fans too. We want this to be, you haven't been to the restaurant yet, but our restaurant, I think, is on par. I think it's better than any of the Memphis restaurants. And we did that on purpose. We have a French-trained chef, top-of-the-line meat.
That steak I had the other day was better than the steak I had in Vegas.
It's because we've got a new vendor now where it's 80% Wagyu beef and 20% Angus beef, and it is the best steaks that you can put in your mouth. But anyway, I want to have music too. I want to have great music and have people come here.
We would love to come and perform.
So we talked a little bit about the background, but who would you say? I mean, you might say B.B. King. Who would you say were inspirations for you musically?
The obvious one is SRV.
SRV.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lost him way too soon, man.
Man, he was very talented.
He was just hitting his stride.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid helicopter crash.
It happens to the best of them.
But he's one of them, but all the old soul stuff, man. The Wilson Pickett. I would consider myself a soul singer and a blues guitarist.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so
man, you get along with my son. He's an old soul, and that's kind of how his sound is. It's kind of soulful blues sound. So. So that music's very appealing even to this area,
Yeah.
The claim they have here, we have a memorial up here on the square to Isaac Hayes because he was from this area, and they're big with him. So is that my phone keeps going off?
Everybody's phone.
It is. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought it was yours, and
I just turned mine
yours
off.
is off, and it's mine
I'm
going
done
off.
playing with this thing.
And so July. What did we say, Josh? Let me see the schedule again.
That's right. I can pull it up now. Hold on. I've got it in here.
Okay, cool. I want everybody to know when they can come see him and remind them. If I didn't say it in the beginning, what we're promoting.
July 9th.
That's it, July 9th, and it's the 7 to 10 show. So for those that are watching that don't know, we're doing this series to promote the Covington Downtown Music Series. And the way it works is from 4 to 7 on the courthouse lawn. You can bring a chair, sit out there with your family, and there's music that whole time. And then from 7 to 10, there's a different group that will perform at the Liberty Vintage Marketplace, which is just down the way here a little bit. Both of those locations are the Cellar is literally right between them. So you could go listen to the music and then come get something to eat, or go get something to eat and come listen to the music either way at the Cellar. But it's free. So the thing is, like in this community, you got live music with great, very talented musicians, and it's completely free for you guys to come and enjoy. So hopefully you guys will come out and do that. So you have anything in there you want to show us? And I don't want to put you on the spot on it, but if you want to sing or anything you want to do, you're welcome to do. But you got what you got hid over there?
Well, let's see what I got in here.
I'll tell you while you're doing that. So one of the first guys I had on that was kind of a musician was this Elvis impersonator guy. Super cool dude. I liked him, right? But he goes and singing this Elvis love song. He's going to sing some songs for me. And the problem is I hadn't had anybody do this in this scenario before. And as he's singing, he's looking me in the eye. Well, I'm a macho dude, and I'm like, I ain't looking away. So then, oh, sweet. So you got a custom guitar pick. I like it.
Yeah, these are, we don't sell anything in our shows. We have what we call donation incentives.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
So, we have stuff that if you bless us with a tip, we're going to bless you back with something.
Well, that's nice of you.
And it's good stuff.
I got lots of swag. I call it swag.
Yeah.
I got lots of swag stuff too. So you do have a CD. How do those go? Because I mean, I guess you're on iTunes with your. Well, how is it done?
These are strictly giveaway. These are
but your website is that through iTunes?
No.
When they buy it.
Well, it's on every platform you can think of. It's through SongWhip.
Mm-hmm. So
like if you go to my website and you click on, you can listen to the demo, which has snippets of this CD on it, which is our promotional demo. But then Your Grace and Your Love is published. You can download it. It's buyable. It's listenable, whatever. So and I just have those 2 tracks on there right now. So but we hope to be probably October, November, when things slow down a little bit. I'm planning on getting the guys in there and finishing up what we've started already.
Well, and I noticed you said Jason Foree band. You have a band that's with you though, a group of guys.
Oh yeah. We're a 4-piece band. Dave Bennett on bass. Ricky Lee Johnson out of New Albany, Mississippi is my keyboard player, and Lafayette Adair, who played drums for the King Bees for 23 years, is my drummer. We're seasoned professionals. We've been doing this a long time. Great guys, and we're a team. We're a family band. But I'm the front guy.
I got you.
So basically, we're a team, but I got veto power.
I understand. That's kind of how it is here. I'm the managing partner, so I get it. Yeah, I like the fedora, by the way. So I usually wear a fedora. Now, we're doing this, for those that don't know, on a Sunday. And so, man, I've been sick. You can kind of hear it. I've been under the weather. And I didn't feel like messing. I got this crazy hair. And I didn't feel like fixing my hair, so I just threw a cap on. I guess I should have worn my fedora.
I don't have to worry about that much. I don't have much hair. So.
Well, I like the fedora, so that's good.
We also have these that we.
That's cool.
These
you
will
can
be
autograph
at the
them
show,
for 'em.
so we can.
And this is your other guys.
That's the guys. That's the band right there.
Let me see.
And there you go.
Cool. And I saw you had a promotional video too.
Yep.
Is that on the website,
That's
or they
on
go
the
to
website.
YouTube to see that?
If you go to the website, it takes you. You click on it, it takes you straight to YouTube.
So you do a lot. Do you do a lot of covers?
Yeah, we're pretty much
most
doing
what it
covers
is?
right now.
So what's your favorite? I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan, I guess, but who would be your groups that you like to cover?
All right. You might find this interesting. So in 2000, the year 2000, the first band I put together was Jason and the Bottom Line. My keyboard player, longtime friend and brother, Chris Stevenson, also known as Doc Fangus.
Doc Fangus.
Now Doc Fangus he's played on a whole lot of records, and he's a well sought after keyboard player in Memphis. But first keyboard he ever played was mine. In my band, he didn't even have his own keyboard. So, but he went on to he just Rod Bland just put out a record that was I think they won a blues award. So not sure about all the details on that, but he's played on a whole lot of stuff. But anyway, didn't mean to drop the name, but
no, that's all good.
He and I used to go see a guy for inspiration. So there was lots of stuff on the radio, but not stuff that inspired us. What inspired us was the art of a well-executed live performance. And the man that I used to love to go see was Preston Shannon. You ever heard of a guy named
The name is
Preston
familiar,
Shannon?
but I can't picture it.
Okay, Preston
Is a
Shannon.
local guy?
He was a Memphis guy. Preston Shannon, man, big 8-piece band, horn section, the whole deal. Had members of the King Bees that played in that at times, and he was a big. Yeah, I remember going there and Chris and I looking at each other and saying, one day we're going to be on that stage.
Awesome.
So that dream God fulfilled.
Have you listened to Alan Stone?
Alan Stone. I can't say that I have.
So he's a younger cat. I want to say he's out of Seattle. My son actually is who introduced me to him because again he's old soul and this is like a jazzy bluesy sound guy. Probably the greatest vocal range I've ever heard. But he came to Memphis, I don't know, 6 years ago, and I surprised my son with like VIP tickets, right? And so he got to meet him, which I think Austin at the time was like 14, and this was just literally his idol. But my wife and I went with him to see the concert. It was at New Daisy. I mean, he wasn't very known. He's been in a Super Bowl commercial since then, done pretty well. But at the time, he was just doing local stuff. Anyway, we go. But that's the first time I had seen. He had a live like jazz band. He had like a trombone player, saxophone, the drums, whole deal, upright bass, whole deal as he was doing it, and it was awesome. And I think some of that's lost when it's recorded. Versus seeing it live,
Yeah, I'll say this. Excuse me. I'll say this. No matter, I mean, I try to capture the stuff that I record at the house and the stuff that I have on the CD, or those are live recordings. So I try to capture that live Memphis thing, the thing that people come from around the world to hear. But I'll tell you something. There's nothing like, I don't care how good a job you do producing that, that record, it's not the same as being there.
Yeah, you're right.
Because blues is it's an inspired thing. The improvisation is all inspired. You might not play the same solo again ever, but on that night when it's right, you know what I'm saying, and you hit the zone. You may never be able to duplicate that solo again. So if you were there that night, then you got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. It's something you experience.
It's something about.
And I think almost all music's really like that. Unless it's somebody's when they're pre-recorded or whatever. What do you call that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of songs are note for note. You play the same exact thing over and over and over again.
No, but
blues is a form to where. It's a soloing. You solo over it.
You're talking about lip syncing, Jeremy?
Yeah. Well, what he's saying, I get what he's saying. He's saying, that some other forms, they're still kind of the same. My point was, even those I think are different live. It's a different experience live.
For sure.
But you're right. And again, I wish Austin was here because man, he could talk so much shop with you guys better than me because he talks about this exact same thing on the blues
and jazz. Jazz is like that too.
Yeah.
But blues, if you don't go see a blues show live, you're really you're missing out on something.
There's definitely some emotion in there with it. You get a good blues performance, you can feel it in there.
Even if you look at some of the famous, we brought up Stevie Ray Vaughan, so some of the live video, that's still not the same as being there.
Yeah.
Because there's something that happens with that inspired improvisation.
Do you do a lot of studio work? Musician work?
I don't do a lot of sessions. I've done some.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Well, I didn't even know it existed until I went to this recording, and we had we fronted all the money, right? Me and my partner fronted all. There's a lot of money to front this and get this thing to go because we had to hire all these professional musicians, and because my son, he can play guitar, but he was really vocals. He was lead vocals, and then he has got a buddy that was vocals. They had another guy that plays for. What is the big gospel group? Big giant one that travels old gospel. What is the name?
Not the Gaithers.
Gaithers.
Yeah. The Gaithers?
He's the Gaithers pianist.
Oh my gosh.
So he knows him. He goes with them and he's like the backup, but he has played with the Gaithers. And
wow.
Yeah, the choir director guy is the Gaithers pianist, keyboardist or whatever, and this guy is now graduated and travels with them some when he can, and he's the only other one they trust, feels, and he's awesome. Then the drummer we got was Billy Ray Cyrus's drummer back in the day, and he's done other covers, but he's a studio musician, right?
Studio musician.
I didn't know that there were that many, and in the world they're known. And this guy, you could tell this guy was a professional drummer because my son had written the songs, they had done the vocals over even had a beat sound in the background they were going to have to pull out just so they could kind of get the rhythm, I guess, and had the music written out, and this guy was getting it the first take every time.
Yeah.
He was just killing it. And then the other ones were not quite as, there was a bass guy that's good, but he's not really professional, and they were having to do a few takes for them. But that drummer was on point, man. He knew what was up.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a drummer like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Lafayette, if you hear this, you know you're feeling the love right now. But,
So how much of I'm just curious, this for my personal knowledge, because you may or may not know. So Nashville now, of course, has got Music Row. That's where everybody thinks they got to go to record music. You've got the record companies. How much in Memphis, though? Because, Memphis was like that in the, 50s, 60s? Is there still a scene of let's record music
no,
in Memphis?
there's not. And that's what's sad.
That is sad.
And maybe you'll see some stuff coming out of my little spot.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But there are some people that I know who would love to see that rekindled, because there is amazing talent on every corner in Memphis.
Yes, sir, I agree.
I mean, everywhere there's amazing talent, but I'm telling you, there's players down there that are playing for nothing, or virtually nothing, who could smoke. I mean, I've said it many times that a mediocre band here in Memphis can go elsewhere and kill it.
Yeah. Is that competitive?
I mean, kill it.
Yeah.
We got great bands around here, and I hate to say this, but I think that maybe a lot of folks in the area are a little bit spoiled.
Yeah.
They don't realize what they have here.
Mm-hmm.
But people that come from Europe and come over here and hear a local Memphis band, they think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't have anything like this where we're from. And they're,
Yeah, I think also that it's more, again, Memphis versus Nashville. That Nashville music scene is much more like poppy and synthesized. To me, it's not as clean. There's a gritty experience on Beale Street. Like, you can go and there's an emotion and it's definitely different experience to me, I think. Memphis, but a lot of it is because it's very talented musicians.
Well, it all came out of gospel. Mm-hmm. And it's...
Yeah, wasn't that Elvis? Elvis, it was gospel, and he was listening to the blues and jazz and stuff, and then it sort of all, the rock and roll all kind of mixed all that together.
Yeah. You trace it all back. It all comes out of gospel.
One of the last guests we were talking to, I was talking because I'm interested in. I really enjoy music as a spectator, right? But I also see how you can monetize a lot of it, even though I don't understand the art itself. But anyway, one of the things I'm also playing with is maybe, because in Memphis it's got a couple and they're doing pretty well, is doing like a vintage book and record store, because records are making a big comeback.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people listen to the digital, and a lot of young people may have never even listened to a record, but to me it's a whole different experience when you're on the record.
Yeah.
Especially blues and stuff.
I have a friend who's a bass player who presses records.
Oh, we need to talk then.
He works for a company that...
Does he? Oh, yeah.
Actually, they press records. That's what they do.
Okay. Well, we definitely need to talk then. I'm telling you, I've got a whole business
Just
plan.
cut it off right here. We're going to have a little conversation,
yeah.
and we'll come back.
This whole business plan, I'm trying to work up on that. I mean, we're getting ready to pull the trigger on that soon, but I gotta finish working through the logistics. But there's all questions like that I have on, because I want to make sure we can do out. I had this idea that okay, you do digital stuff, but like some of these bands are doing real unique albums, like clear albums, and that's a special limited edition that you're getting in addition to you get the downloads or whatnot. And that's a revenue stream for artists, or record labels, depending on how it goes. That's another thing I was dumbfounded by. I don't know if you've dealt with record labels at all, but in the research that I've done on potentially forming a record label, I always knew they got a lot of the money, but I didn't realize how much. It's
half.
It was better than that. Most of it was even better than that.
Yeah, I mean...
because
they should get half. I'll say it like that.
If that much. That's why I was thinking the business forum I was thinking about doing was turning the whole thing on its head. Was doing something that was artist-centric to where the record company it's got to pay its bills and have money to promote the artist. That's where a lot of it goes into, is promotion. But there's no sense in a record executive making 30-40% off of an album when it's you're the star, you're the artist on it.
Yeah, well, it depends on who's putting up the money.
Yeah.
For the product. See?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's where they get you. I think back in the old days, the guy with the money put up the money for the studio, put up the money for
Got
for
you
the
there. You
records.
wouldn't have got there without it.
Right. So there was a lot of guys that really got hung out to dry. I mean, there's famous people that's died with nothing.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. But the indie thing has changed everything.
Oh yeah, no. Well,
There's no more great big humongous record companies that are just wrecking people over like that.
No,
anymore.
and then the record
because
sales.
they know these guys can go home and cut an album, and it may not be quite as pristine as the $500,000 studio sounds, but it's pretty freaking good.
It is, yeah.
And it's good enough that people will buy it.
Yeah.
And they'll buy it online, and they'll buy it at the shows, and that's my little dream.
Yeah.
But the marketing side of it, the getting it out there to the YouTubers and the all the people on the web that would want to download it. That's where I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cut here and we'll.
Okay. So July 9th.
July
right?
9th.
That and this is airing, should be the week of. So I guess you guys just had a happy 4th of July, and it's the Covington Downtown Music Series. Mr. Jason Foree and his band will be there. And that's going to be at the Liberty Vintage stage at Liberty Vintage Marketplace from 7 to 10 p.m. And remember, that's a full evening of music, and it is free. So hopefully you guys will go check him out. I really appreciate you taking the time to come over here and visit us, man. It's nice to meet you.
I'm going to go visit my dad, who still lives here.
Okay, great.
So,
well, good. It wasn't a wasted trip then, just to come up
not
for
a wasted
us.
trip.
And it's like Josh said, I really like doing it live anyway, because I just think you get better vibes with folks when it's this way than you got them on the monitor. So.
Well, I hope I did okay, because this is my first what you would call more formal interview with anybody. So
I thought you did great.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and that's what was important.
I hope some of my old classmates come out and
yeah. Well, now that we know you're a Charger, we'll get them out to support you.
Yeah, I played in the band in school.
Yeah,
sure did.
That's what I was
old bass drum.
asking about back then. I figured you were involved in it somehow then.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, man, again, thanks for coming out and talking with us. You guys will hopefully see you at the music event this weekend. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to all of our platforms. Don't forget the Covington Comic-Con is August 20th to 21st at the Civic Center here in Covington. And, of course, Michelle Allen is our local realtor and sponsor, and we're very thankful for her. And Mason's High Octane Martial Arts, located in Covington, been here since 1993. So you can come see us and become a Kickin' Lawyer yourself. And then the Cellar Restaurant and Prohibition Bar. If you're going to go do some of this music, don't forget to check us out for dinner. They open at 4 every day.
You need your protein.
And
you go
that's right. You gotta have a full stomach. And then you got Masonite Digital Marketing. Josh will help you out if you're looking to build websites and set up marketing stuff and et cetera.
I couldn't help but laugh. You rolled through them so fast that the creepy panda from Covington Comic-Con was still over Michelle Allen.
I was just trying to get them in now. All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you on another Law Talk next time. Keep kicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember that this is not legal advice or investment advice or business advice. This is for fun and entertainment purposes only.